Hi, this is Trish's Treasure, and I'm talking about turning on the calm. Is it hard for you to calm down? If it is, I can relate to that on so many levels. For example, if I'm very passionate about doing something, it's very hard for me to calm down because I work so hard for it and it didn't turn out right, and it's just a very buzzkill for me. But I am trying to learn that it's okay to not have everything planned out. It's okay for things not to work out because I can't control that. I can have the biggest plan and I can practice it over 30 times, and sometimes it still turns out wrong, and I have to understand that the only thing that's in my control is that I have to try. That's the only thing that's in my control, and the outcome sometimes isn't in my control, you know? So, is it hard for you guys to calm down? Is it difficult for you to stop and just think about why you are angry, or why are you irritated, or why you are reacting the way you're reacting? It's hard for me to do that sometimes because when you're so caught up in the moment, it's very hard to tell yourself to stop. Let's not react like that. Let's think about this. Let's think about what it's going to cause. And that's not easy either. It's not easy because sometimes we have expectations for outcomes. We have expectations for other people. And sometimes we have expectations for ourselves. And when we don't mount up to those expectations or look up to those expectations, we think it's the end of the world. It's normal. I've been there. I have been there. It takes a lot of practice for you to react to things in a more calm and positive and stable way. If you're so used to being a tornado and hurricane during situations, it all takes practice to calm your storm. We can stop and just listen to our favorite song or breathe, and that allows our bodies to pause and think about certain situations. So let's take a moment of silence just to think and listen to the song. How did that make you feel? It made me feel very relaxed. It actually helped me clear my thoughts and think about certain situations that I reacted on and I should have done better. And I also thought of, if I was faced with the situation again, I will react so much better than before. I'm going to learn to stop before I react, because I can control my reactions in certain situations. I can control myself. And having self-control is also a good outlet for more peaceful outcomes in conflicts and any sorts of arguments in situations. Speaking of peace, what brings you that peace? What brings you that calmness that you long for that calm switch, that calm light switch that just turns on when you're in your raging mode, in your conundrum, in your dilemma. For me, I like solitude. I like sitting alone and just listening to nature. And I love going outside, petting my cats. That makes me feel calm. I like listening to calming music, or my favorite music that gets me in a good mood when I'm not in that good mood. And I also pray, because my spirituality is very important to me, and it brings me peace as well. You may not believe in what I do, but for me, that brings me so much peace. And whatever brings you peace, you must know what brings you peace, because sometimes when we react in certain ways, when we don't stay calm, sometimes the outcomes seem like it won't turn into a tsunami. It seems like just a wave in the ocean that can't hurt anyone. But when you look back at it, it caused a lot of damage. And like a tsunami does, it brings lots of objects back to the water. It pulls back. It brings a lot of people with you when you are in that mode of anger and frustration. Okay, guys, we're going to take another peace break to collect our thoughts and relax and be calm. Thank you guys for doing that with me. Now we're going to talk about seeing red. Have you guys ever saw the movie Inside Out? There's different emotions. There's sadness, joy, and I like the funny guy, Anger. Anger, he's funny, but anger is also the emotion that causes Riley to spaz out on everyone. What anger describes it as is explode. You can see the fire coming from the top of his head. Like, have we ever reached that experience of anger before? I know I have. And when I was in that stage, it's like I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't aware of what I was doing. It's like blacking out. And because I did that, after I stopped eventually and saw what I caused on other people for reacting in such a way, because I used to get violent when I was very angry, and I didn't like the outcome of getting violent because I felt like it wasn't me, it wasn't my character. And now that I come to realize that I had a lot inside of me, I had a lot to get off my chest, and I did not know how to just talk about it instead of fight it off or fight other people. So after I would get angry or cause disruption, I would get in trouble because I would hold it in so much. And when I did snap, that's what we call them, when we snap, when we lose ourselves in the wrong way. When I lost myself, I would get in trouble because it was so drastic. Like, it was so much because I held in the anger for a very, very long time. And now, I'm learning to be peaceful. I'm learning not to be so calm and not so quick to be so guarded and so, I would say, offended about everything, because everyone is not from my past. Everyone is not out to get me, and it's hard to come to that conclusion sometimes because my brain is on that fight-flight mode. My brain is like, okay, I feel like somebody's trying to disrespect me, so what do? I put those guards. And what that does is it sets up the wrong boundaries for me. What I mean by wrong boundaries, I mean like people that actually do care about me, I do not let them in. People that actually have good intentions in my life, I always look at them in distrust. It's not that they are not trustworthy. It's that I am anxious of them ruining my trust, which is very normal. So when we get into an argument, I automatically think, oh no, we argued, so that means our friendship is ending. And so it's hard for me to recover from the arguments that I have with people that I'm very close to. Do you recall a time where you were seeing red and you know you can't get that moment back, but if you had a chance to do it, what have you learned from that moment? And what would you do different if the moment has came across your path again? If that wasn't a clear question, I will say it again. Do you recall a time that you've seen red? If so, if you were given the opportunity and you face the same moment again in this present day, what have you learned from the last time? And and how would you use what you learned from the last time in the situation that is upon you as of right now? Getting angry is very, very normal. There's nothing wrong with feeling the emotion of anger and frustration. And feeling negative emotions, because it happens. It happens all the time. But what is important is how we react and how we choose to react. So, this is the end of Trish's Treasure, and we're going to take another peace break. The question is, what can we learn from this? What I've learned from this is, I know what makes me calm. I know if I can allow myself to pause. Just think about how the reaction can affect me and how it can affect others and how it reflects me as a person.